It has been pouring rain.
Simply devastating, and as we go to air, the town levy is likely to be overtopped any minute now.
And so people went to bed that night not realising, with all the information they had available to them at the time, that they thought it was safe to stay at home. They did not realise that at 3 a.m, water would come gushing through their houses. 1,000 people descended on Southern Cross University's campus in the middle of the night in absolutely torrential rain, and there was nowhere to sit.
As part of our rolling campaign action about public sector salary increases, we're having a meeting tonight at Bathurst, really well received, with a large group of members from all sorts of areas of the public sector.
I were down at Wollongong for the pay rise meeting. The public sector definitely needs a pay rise, and it's such a great turnout for the Wollongong people.
Just fantastic to get out to Windsor to catch up with our members. There was just huge support amongst all of the membership for a fair and decent wage rise, because the public sector need a pay rise.
I'd like to declare the conference open, and I wish to acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land that we meet on today.
Delegates, as we've seen over the past 3 years, during times of great challenge and crisis, it is the public sector that the community turns to. It was our members who responded to the wildfires. It was our members at the Ministry of Health that first responded to the pandemic. And again, it was our members that responded to the floods. Our members deserve a pay rise. The public sector needs a pay rise.
Now, the New South Wales government would have you believe there's nothing that can be done about the rising cost of living. That's not true. We can have a system where we have more flexibility to negotiate and get rid of this wage cap.
The fires, the pandemic, now the floods, we never stopped. So now it's time for the state to support us.
We deserve a pay rise that recognises the value and it shows the appreciation for the work that we did throughout that time.
We have a New South Wales government that refuses to recognise and reward public sector workers. This is why annual conference delegates and central councillors have taken the extraordinary step to endorse a 24-hour stoppage on Wednesday, the 8th of June 2022.
Thousands of public servants once again marched down Macquarie Street.
Prison officers,
It is an absolute disgrace that frontline workers need to go on strike to send a message to Premier Perrottet. We've had it with waiting for a pay rise. A fair pay rise. Our time is now.
This salary cap has affected our very standards of living. We've received over the past few years a big fat 0%.
Since this government has been in power, child protection reports have more than doubled. Give us the dignity and respect by stopping the pay cuts, that we can keep delivering for every child in New South Wales who needs us.
The PSA thank you and appreciate every single member, from the smallest branches to the largest.
We are not going to take a pay cut. We are not going to take any more lack of respect. And we are going to win.
Welcome to Women's Conference 2022. It's been far too long since we have been able to come together. The theme for this year is winning together. Safe, respected, equal.
General manager walked straight up to me as the only female. I was wearing my 2 stripes and a bar, so I've got a bit of rank. They all didn't. He handed me his phone and his keys. He said, "Do me a favour, love, hold this for me."
This is now the PSA's Jean Arnott Library.
I think people don't necessarily think trade unionist when they think librarians.
She was a real trade union activist, and she really stood up for women. And what's exciting about it is, like today, you're making history for women.
Today we celebrate having Aboriginal conference after 2-year break after the pandemic.
I'd like to acknowledge Anne Weldon and the fantastic work that Anne has done over the last 6 years for this union.
2023 is going to be a significant year, whatever happens. Our futures could go one way or the other. And of course, I'm talking about the road to referendum.
From the executive,
Staff and delegates at the PSA CPSU New South Wales.
Have a very Merry Christmas.
and a safe and prosperous new year.